The pick is in. It is official. The 49ers have selected linebacker Nick Martin from Oklahoma State, 5'11", 221. They clearly needed a linebacker with the departure of Dre Greenlaw, and now they have one. Javi, why do you like it?
I like it because, he's got a 1.54 10-yard split, 4.53. He's 5'11". He fits their profile, 221, 31-inch arms, 9.5-inch hands. This guy he's a missile. That's what I saw when I watched Oklahoma State. He is a missile. He is like Jed York tweeted, big hitter. Like, he's a big hitter. That is what you need in this offense. See ball, get ball. That is what he does at Oklahoma State. That is what he's going to do next to Fred Warner. Similar to, and I'm not comparing NaVorro Bowman or Patrick Willis, but that was kind of how they operated. Each one kind of alternate see ball, get ball, right? This is kind of the Nick Martin role. He's a see ball, get ball type of player. I like it. I would have preferred Paul here, but I understand what they're trying to do. You're looking for big hitters. You're looking for run stoppers, and he can play a little bit of coverage, this kid out of Oklahoma State. So we know the Big 12 is a pass-happy conference. You got to have linebackers that can cover a little bit as well. He got the speed for that. He's got a 10-yard split for that. He's got some arm length for that as well. The 5'11" kind of concerns me a little bit, but I think Dre Greenlaw is like 5'11", maybe 6 foot. So it's not that far off with his height. So I like the pick. I'm not in love with the pick. We'll see how this one works out. If I were to give it a grade, it's probably a C+, right? But that's you're again, like Levin said, you're guessing at this point, right? You're 75 through 100 here. You're taking educated guesses. You're trusting your scouts that they did the homework and got everything right. And apparently this was a convicted pick. This is their conviction. This is what they wanted. So
I'm never going to miss a chance to throw that in. So.
No, it's awesome.
I'll say this. If he's truly like a, see the ball, get the ball guy that has athleticism, that's really all they need, because you have Fred Warner there that's going to be helping you. I mean, we saw Dre Greenlaw early on. He couldn't recognize a run until late in the process, his entire first 2 years, but he was doing just fine in that role, and then he took it to another level in his third year. But if he just has athleticism and he, has a good motor, then they have addressed the guys up front, like I said, to where the offensive line is going to be struggling to get to the second level. So if you just have that athleticism there, that's going to be much better than what they had last year, because that's going to allow him to help shut down that run. And if they shut down the run, I think that's what their goal is stop the early downs from gaining yards so that you get into third and long. Now you let that pass rush in that wide 9 take over.
Okay, Rob. So Nick Martin, 5'11 and a half, 222, 31 3/4 inch arms, 9 1/4 inch hands. Dre Greenlaw, 5'11 and a half, 237, 32 1/4 inch arms, 9 7/8 inch hands. 40 time, 4.53 for Nick Martin. Dre Greenlaw, he didn't run a 40, but I think he's closer to that 4.5, low 4.4 range or low 4.5 range. So he's probably in the same category. Same thing with 10-yard split. I'm looking at NFL's draft grades. So prospect grade for Dre Greenlaw was a 5.8, average backup or special teamer. Nick Martin's prospect grade is 5.95. The athletic profile matches the Dre Greenlaw profile. The other part I would think is funny here, hometown for Nick Martin is Texarkana, Texas, and hometown for Dre Greenlaw is Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's like you're just trying to mimic what you've done over the past couple of years with your picks. He's a good run defender. Is he? Now we got to see if he can carry these tight ends. And that's all we need. I'm okay with this pick. Again, I would have preferred Paul here, but I have no problem with this pick. We will have to wait and see. Is he better than the kid from TCU we took a couple years ago? I don't remember his name anymore.
Graham? Tatum Bethune?
No, the other one. Winters. Is he better than D. Winters? Probably.
They don't like D. Winters. I think they've
said it.
Yeah, they've said it. Just looking at the Dane Brugler draft guide for Nick Martin, I like this. He put himself on the NFL radar as a sophomore, one of 6 FBS players with 140 tackles or more in 2023 and was on pace to average double-digit tackles again before a right knee injury sidelined him. Built like a muscular safety, Martin's an easy mover with the straight line burst and true sideline to sideline range to be a run and chase backer. He's an aggressive striker, and his tackle production speaks for itself, but his average length and point of attack strength will hurt his ability to sift through NFL traffic and disengage from pro blockers. Overall, Martin doesn't have the size that most teams desire at the position, but his urgent athleticism will give him a chance to earn a role as a will linebacker. He should find regular work as a core special teamer and be the first man off the bench on defense. Now, Dane had him going in the 5th round. This is a 3rd round pick for the 49ers.
Again, he's starting. That reads like Greg Greenlaw.
There's a lot of positions that size can matter. I think defensive tackle obviously matters. Linebacker and quarterback are the 2 positions I feel like it's been disproven over the last 20 years. There's been quite a few undersized linebackers that have succeeded in the NFL. And he's not that undersized. He's just not quite normal sized. You know, I get sick of that. If the guy is fast, the guy can recognize a play, and he's strong with a good motor, that's all you need. It doesn't matter if, he's 15 pounds lighter than you would like. You really wish he had an extra inch or 2 as a linebacker. Like, that doesn't matter. The NFL has been littered with undersized linebackers that were lowly drafted that ended up panning out because everybody underestimated all the other aspects. But I got to make a quick recap because I need to get going before my wife kills me.
Okay.
But I'll say this about the draft. I'm happy. They didn't get an offensive tackle, but I'm happy because they clearly came in with a clear vision, knowing what their biggest weakness was last year, which was being able to stop the run. And they have said, we're addressing that. We're addressing the second linebacker, which was the biggest weakness we had last year from a single spot. And we addressed the run defense, which was the biggest issue we had as a unit or an overall side of the field. So I'm happy that they have said, we are going to address this issue and make that side of the ball be okay. And that way the offense, it's not all put on them like it was last year. And obviously they failed because they couldn't get in the end zone when they got to the red zone.